Hello everyone, this is Marku with Accelerate Games, and I want to welcome you guys to this episode of Shadow Drills. And in today's episode, I'm going to be covering the UFC EA Sports 2. And want to start with a defense video first, only because it's pretty common to get knocked out in this game, and without a good, solid defense, particularly against striking, not in the clinch position, but just the stand-up position, you're going to get knocked out pretty fast. And so I made this video as a compilation of the first thing that really helps with is the blocking, as well as the parrying and slipping. Those are your three basic ways to defend against strikes while standing up. So blocking is pretty straightforward. You just hold it there and it does, block whatever punch you're doing. Parrying, it actually allows you to counter or, not the person's punch out of the way for a split second and gives you a small opening which you can capitalize upon. And then, of course, slipping is where you slip the punch or in essence, you just dodge it altogether, and that also creates an opening. Both the parrying and the slipping are pretty advanced, and both of them are difficult to execute if you don't really have any insight into how to do it. The biggest thing I want to do is first, I wanted to show you the drills you could practice to help improve your skills in those aspects of blocking, parrying, and slipping. And in essence, if you really work hard and practice on these drills, they'll make you much better, and you can incorporate it in your overall fighting game plan within UFC. So let's cut to the parrying, actually blocking, parrying, and slipping video, so you can actually see the drills themselves and how to get A's in all three of the levels. And we have three levels: easy, medium, and hard. So, and of course, the last one is always the hardest to get an A in. So let's go to that right now. Now, as you watch the practice practice for the parrying as well as the blocking, you want to keep in mind that blocking and parrying by itself won't win you a match in this game. This game is very multi-layered. There's so many different counters, different moves, and not to mention, if you're fighting a human opponent that's really good and knows what he's doing, they're just going to mix it up between punches and kicks, high and low, and so standing there trying to block and counter everything is not a way to victory. What you want to do is get familiar with blocking the different types of punches and kicks to your head and block, mixing them up with counter strikes, and then also knowing when to block low. As you get more acclimated with how to block, you'll be able to block much more easily or much faster than holding the block button and then pressing the corresponding thing. The other thing you have to factor in throughout the game of UFC, whether you switch from grappling to wrestling or other stances, sometimes depending on what happened between you and your opponent, your stance could change differently. You could either be orthodox or southpaw. And that's extremely important because depending on what button you press to parry their jab or their cross, their 1-2 or whatever, that determines which button you should press on your controller, depending on which foot you have forward. So if they're throwing a jab, you have to press a jab on your a jab counter on your a jab parry actually on your controller. But the thing is, say you're in orthodox stance and that jab is actually an X, but if you change stance, it's actually now a Y. So you have to be aware of that. So that little change, I mean, an opponent can put you in a move that forces you to change your stance, but then you're pressing the parry counter to trying to get that parry, either whether it's a punch, kick, whatever, and you're pressing the wrong one. So keep that in mind when you're fighting these opponents, that if your stance change, it makes it a little bit different. You have to kind of alternate. So I usually fight in the same stance. When I get up, the first thing I do is I switch back to my normal stance, so that way it's more instinctive which button I press whenever I'm trying to counter. It makes it a little bit more systematic and consistent when you're trying to counter. So keep that in mind, all right?
That's what I want to see. You weren't even throwing punches when you won that round.
Now, what you're watching right now is some real life, real actual fights, and I was showing you the counter in the practice, but now you're gonna see fights from different fights I had, both online ranked as well as in career mode with my fighter bitch put in. As you can see, I blog many different types of things, whether it's high or low, and the biggest thing about counter striking is what I call it, because at the end of the day, you're not just blocking just to block, you're blocking so you could then turn it into a counter and actually capitalize. So like one of them is where I just caught her kick right now and put her down. And so it creates opening for you to take advantage and change the momentum of the fight. And so a lot of times, just rocked her from countering that kick and just knocked out. See? So you see I created an opener right there where I blocked it with a kick and then finished the fight in that case. And then now fighting purple here, girl. And I just slipped her right there, and see I'm falling up. So the biggest thing, I'm getting a little off topic watching these awesome fight punches. No, but the biggest thing is that you want to follow up with your counters. Well, your counter could be either your parry or slip. And when I say counters, that's what I mean, parry or slip, so whichever one it is. And you want to follow with whichever one you do execute to land either a good combination, which is why I pointed it out, that combination that alternate punches does more damage than throwing the same punch over and over. I mean, if you are doing a high risk move, those do a lot of damage and can knock people out, but those are much slower and hard to execute. But when they do hit, they do a lot of damage. So the biggest thing overall is that you want to incorporate countering as a part of your overall strategy to help create openings so you can finish the fight and ultimately win the Ultimate Fighter. Alright, so I'm going to end it right here. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe. And if there is any questions or comment or anything you want to add to the video, please let me know, and I'll do a follow-up video showing different, more high-level counters, because there is more than what I just showed right now, because this game is so multi-layered. It's hard to capture every actual counter within the game within a short video. So as I get more knowledgeable, more skillful within execute these moves, I'll definitely post follow-up videos in my Shadow Drill series. Alright, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.